Okay. In this video, I'm continuing PDE. See, next topic in PDE is Lagrange's partial differential equations. First, we should see the definitions of Lagrange's partial differential equation. So, the general form of Lagrange's linear PDE can be defined as, this is the general form of Lagrange's PDE. That is capital P into small p plus capital Q into small q, which is equal to R. See here where small p is dou z by dou x and small q represents dou z by dou y. Standard notation for P and Q. And capital P, Q, R are the functions of x, y, z. Okay, na? See, if the equation is in this form, then this is the standard Lagrange's linear PDE. Okay. So now there is a working procedure for Lagrange's linear PDE equation. See, for given Lagrange's PDE, first we should write the given equation in the standard form. Okay, so first write the auxiliary equations of the Lagrange's linear PDE as, see, this is the auxiliary equation for Lagrange's linear PDE. Okay, that is dx by capital P is equal to dy by capital Q is equal to dz by capital R. This is the standard auxiliary equation for Lagrange's PDE. This is the first step. After writing the given equation in the standard Lagrange's PDE form, then we should write the auxiliary equation for that equation. This is the auxiliary equation. After that, the next step is consider the suitable pairs and solve the same by integration. Okay, so then see here we have three parts, right? Three terms we have. Dx by p is equal to dy by q equal to dz by r. So in this equation we need to choose the pairs, or see, either you can choose first and second pair, or you can choose second and third pair, or you can choose third and first as one pair. Okay, so like that we can choose three pairs only. Okay, in three pairs we should choose any two pairs. Okay, see, consider the suitable pairs and solve the same by integration. By choosing any two pairs, we should solve by using integration only. After solving that equation, we'll get C, u of x comma y comma z. U is a function of x, y, z. Okay, is equal to C1, and v of x comma y comma z equal to C2. In this form, we'll get that equation. Means in term of u and v. U and v are functions of x, y, z. So after finding u and v, we just write the final solution. The final solution in the form phi of u comma v equal to C, or 0, you can write anything. Okay, means C. You will get functions of x, y, z, right, in two equations. So just replace in place of phi of u comma v. Write down u and v values. That's it. Which is equal to some constant, or you can write 0 also. This is the step. These are the steps to find the solution. Okay. Now we have one note here. See, we have property in ratio and proportion. We have a property in ratio and proportion, that a ratio, if in ratio we have a property. Okay, this is the property. See, suppose a1 by b1 equal to a2 by b2 is equal to a3 by b3. This is equal to, we can write this as, see, in term of proportion, if you want to write this in term as, see, k1 a1 plus k2 a2 plus k3 a3 by k1 b1 plus k2 b2 plus k3 b3. This means here we consider suitable, by choosing suitable multipliers, we can write this ratio in term of this equation. Okay, here k1, k2, k3 are the multipliers. Okay, so similarly, this is in general. Okay, so this is our auxiliary equation, Legendre's auxiliary equations, right? So Lagrange's auxiliary equation. See here, I choose, we can choose multipliers. Okay, either you can choose 1 multiplier, 2 multiplier, 3 multiplier, how much you want you can choose. But here 2 multipliers is enough. Okay, sometimes choosing one multiplier is enough. Sometimes we need to choose both the multipliers. See here, suppose if I choose k1, k2, k3 as the multipliers for this auxiliary equation, we can write this as, this is equal to k1 dx means, see, we should multiply k1 in first term, multiply and divided by first term. Similarly, next k2 belongs to second term, multiply and divided by in second term, k2. Similarly, k3 multiply and divided by in third term. Then add all numerator and denominator. You'll get k1 dx plus k2 dy plus k3 dz divided by k1p plus k2q plus k3r. Suppose if you want to choose one more multiplier, that is k1 dash, k2 dash, k3 dash, that equation which is equal to this. See, k1 dash dx plus k2 dash dy plus k3 dash dz by k1 dash p, k2 dash q plus k3 dash r. That's it. Okay. So in problem I will explain in detail. Now, see first problem. X dou z by dou x plus y dou z by dou y is equal to z. Okay. And already we know that the standard form of one minute. Okay. So the standard form of Lagrange's PDE is this. P into small p plus q into small q is equal to r. Small q is nothing but dou z by dou x plus dou z by dou y. Okay. P, Q, R represents functions of x, y, z. Now see here. X dou z by dou x. Dou z by dou x is nothing but P. Here dou z by dou y is nothing but Q. So x, y equal to z is this. So it is nothing but it is in standard form. The given equation already in standard form. Okay. So now you just write down what are P, Q, R and small p, small q. See here small p represents small x, capital P represents x, capital Q represents y, capital R. Okay, here Z represents R, Y represents Q, X represents P according to the given problem. So first we should write the auxiliary equation. See, dx by P is equal to dy by Q equal to dz by Q. This is the standard auxiliary equation. So now in this equation you just replace P, Q and R values. See, dx by P value is x is equal to dy by Q is y is equal to dz by z is R. Sorry, R is z. Okay na? Now choose the suitable pair. How to choose the suitable pair? See here we are choosing pairs to integrate. Okay, keep this thing in mind. To integrate only we are choosing the pair. See, to integrate this, see, to integrate it should be in variable separable method. Then only we can integrate. Okay na? See first dx by x dy by dy by y. We can choose this as first pair because here dx by x, if we integrate this we'll get log x. Okay, it is already in separable form. We need not to separate the variables here. That's why I will choose first two. These two are as one pair. So consider, so first case, consider dx by x is equal to dy by y. If we integrate this, 1 by x integration log x is equal to log y. After the integration, we should consider one constant, that is log c1. Okay, log x minus log y is log x by y equal to log c1. So log will eliminate, we'll get x by y equal to c1. So now it is of the form, which form? U of x comma y comma z is equal to c1 form. Okay, that's why x by y represents u. Now next we need to find v, right? V. To find v, consider another pair. So I am going to consider dou y by dou y and dou z by z as second pair because these two are also in separated form. Variable are separated. We need not to separate the variables here. See, suppose if we integrate this dy by y dz by z, get log y equal to log z plus log c2 constant. Log y minus log z is log y by z equal to log c2. So log will eliminate, we'll get y by z is equal to c2. Here y by z represents v. Okay, here v is equal to y by z. Okay, already we have u, this is u and this is v. Therefore, the general solution phi of, either you can write u comma v, or you can write phi of c1 comma c2, anything. See here, because u is equal to c1, v is equal to c2, right? So that's why you can write phi of c1 comma c2 or phi of u comma v, anyone you can write. So phi of c1 c2, or you can u and v. U is x by y, v is y by z is equal to 0. This is the required solution. This is the solution of Lagrange's linear PDE. See, otherwise, you can also choose. See, if you don't want to choose first two terms as pair, you can choose dy by y dz by z as one pair, and also you can choose dz by z and dx by x as another pair. That is your wish. You can choose anywhere. Okay. If you choose like that, you will get different answers. That's it. See, next, solve. P cot x plus Q cot y is equal to cot z. See here, small p, small q represents dou z by dou x and dou z by dou y. Okay, this is understood. Cot x represents capital P, cot y represents capital Q, cot z represents capital R. Standard form. This is also in standard form. So now you directly consider the auxiliary equation. Dou x by p. In place of p, here I written cot x is equal to dou z by q, that is cot y, is equal to dou z by r, that is cot z. Call this as equation 1. Now consider any one pair. Before considering the pair, you would consider this as equation 1. Because see, 1 by cot is nothing but tan dx is equal to 1 by cot is again tan. So tan x dx is equal to tan y dy is equal to tan z dz. Now choose the pairs. Here also see, already all the variables are separated. We need not to separate any variables. So that I will take these two are as one pair and these two are as another pair. That is tan x means first and second term as one pair and second and third term as another pair. Next pair. So now consider first one, tan x dx equal to tan y dy. Now integrated, tan x integration is log of secant x is equal to log secant y plus log c1. Log secant x minus log secant y is log secant x by secant y. This is equal to log c1. So secant x by secant y is equal to c1. This is nothing but u. This is u. Next we should find out v, right? That's why consider another pair. Tan y dy equal to tan z dz. After integration we'll get secant y by secant z is equal to c2. So this represents v. That's why phi of u comma v is secant x, phi of secant x by secant y comma secant y by secant z equal to 0. This is the required solution. The next, y square zp is equal to x square into zq plus y. Okay, first we should rewrite this in terms of standard form. Standard form means pp plus capital Q into Q is equal to capital R. This is the standard form. First, in this standard form we should rewrite. So y square zp is equal to, now multiply x square inside the bracket, we'll get x square zq plus x square y. Now pq, right? See, first x square zq shifted to LHS. This is equal to x square y. In RHS we should have only function of x and x y z, x square y. So here p is y square z. Y square z represents capital P. Minus x square z represents q into small q is equal to r. Now consider the auxiliary equation. Dx by p dy by q is equal to dz by r. Equation 1. Now consider two pairs. See, observe here. Which suits we have to choose. So dx by y square z is equal to dy by x square z. Suppose if I choose these two as first pair, see, this is equal to this, no? Z, because we have derivatives dx and dy only. Here we have z. Both sides we have z, right? In denominator we can cancel. Then if we cross multiply, we can separate the variables. That's why I will choose first two terms as first pair. Similarly, see second and third equation. We should need only functions of z and y because we have the derivatives y and z, right? The dy and dz derivatives. That's why we need only function in term of z and y. Here we have x square, here also we have x square, both are equal, no? That's why we cancel x square. Then by cross multiplying, we can separate the variable. So that's why first and second term as first pair, second and third term as second pair I will choose. So now first and second term. See, before doing all these things, you can directly write pa. See, I will directly cancel here. I don't need not to write these steps. If you cancel this, you will get dx by y square is equal to dy by minus x square. Now just cross multiply this, you'll get x square dx minus x square dx is equal to y square dy. If you shift minus to an RHS or LHS, it becomes plus. So that we'll get x square dx plus y square dy is equal to 0. After cross multiplication, we'll get this equation. Now you can directly integrate it. X square integration is x cube by 3 plus y square integration. Here we have dy, right? So dy cube by 3 equal to c1. See here, u and v are functions of x, y, z only, right? That's why I shift constant 3 to LHS. This becomes 3c1. 3c1 is a constant, right? That's why x cube plus y cube represents u. Similarly, second and third term as second pair, no? So, see here, we can directly cancel x square, x square. The remaining is, see, we'll get dy by minus z is equal to dz by y. You just cross multiply and simplify. So you need not to write these two steps. You can directly write this step y dy plus z dz equal to 0. If you just integrate it, you will get y square by 2 plus z square by 2 equal to c2. You shift 2 to RHS, it becomes 2c2. So y square plus z square represents v. So that's why the general solution is phi of u comma v. U is x cube plus y cube comma v is y square plus z square equal to 0. This is the required solution. Similarly, fourth problem also we can solve. See now, fifth problem. So, if I'm going to solve fifth problem by using that note, property in ratio. So, I'm going to use that property here. See, solve y minus zp plus z minus x into q is equal to x minus y. See, first we should see is the given equation in standard form or not. See here, observe the equation, it is already in standard form. Capital P is y minus z, capital Q z minus x, capital R x minus y. It is already in standard form, no? Now, write the auxiliary equation. See, this is the auxiliary equation. Now observe here, see here. Here we can integrate the pairs by separating the variables. Sorry, this is not can, this is can't. We can't. Please make one correction. Here we can't integrate because see, suppose if I choose these two as pairs, dx by y minus z equal to dy by z minus x. Is it possible to separate the variables here? See, suppose if it is in multiplication form, we can easily cancel zz, but it is in subtraction form. We can't separate the x and y variables because we have z also, right? We can't remove z here. So that's why here we first and second term we can't make a pair. Similarly, see, observe second and third. Here also we need only y and z terms. We don't want x terms here. See, is it possible to separate the variables or is it possible to eliminate x? Suppose if we cross multiply, if we do anything, we can't eliminate x. Okay. Similarly, if I choose third and first as a pair, it is also highly impossible. See, we need only x and z terms. We don't want y. See here we have y minus z, x minus y. If we cross multiply, then also we can't eliminate y. So that's why we can't choose pairs, no. In that condition or in this situation, we can use that note. Means we can use the ratio property. Okay. So that to solve this equation here, we must and should apply or we must and should take the multipliers. Okay. That's what here I written. We can't, this is not can, this is can't integrate the pairs by separating the variables. Therefore, we can solve this problem by using note. Property in ratio and proportion, that a ratio. Okay. So by that property, see, first one thing you should know how to use that multipliers or how to take that multipliers. Okay. See, after choosing the multipliers, denominator should be 0. Like that, you have to choose the multipliers. Okay, once again I will repeat. See, choosing multipliers is very important. So first you should know how to choose the multipliers. See, you should choose the multipliers. After choosing the multipliers, denominator should be 0. Like that, you have to choose the multipliers. Okay, now, so first observe the denominator. What you have, uh, this is understood. After choosing the multipliers, we are going to add both numerator and denominator. Okay, see, after adding, denominator should be 0, right? Like that, we have to choose the multiplier. See here, y minus z plus z minus x plus x minus y. Like this we will get. So now we have to choose suitable multiplier. See, y plus y minus y gets cancelled. This is only when we choose 1 1 1 as a multipliers. Okay, plus z we have, minus z also we have. If we add, that is also eliminate. X plus x minus x eliminate. That's why first I am going to choose 1 1 1. Each ratio is equal to, means 1 1 1 as multipliers. That's why I already told you that you should multiply 1 and divided by 1 in first term. Okay, next this one you should multiply here and here, and third one you should multiply here and here. Then this becomes dx. 1 into dx is dx plus 1 into dy plus 1 into dz. By 1 into y minus z is y minus z plus 1 into z minus x is z minus x. Sorry, this is also a plus, not minus. Plus 1 into x minus y is x minus y. This is plus, guys. Now observe here, plus y minus y plus x minus x plus z minus z. It's eliminate. So numerator dx plus dy plus dz divided by 0. Okay. So now we can write. Therefore, dx plus dy plus dz is equal to 0. If we equate this, we will get 0. Now we have already variables are in separated form. You just integrate it. After integration, dx integration x plus y plus z equal to c1. So the x plus y plus z is u. Now we need to find v, right? So again we can't pair anyone, right? We can't pair any term. That's why again we should go for multipliers. Choosing multipliers. Here I am going to choose that multipliers as x, y, z in each ratio. Okay. So x dx plus y dy plus dz, z dz divided by, if you multiply here, see here, if you multiply x, xy minus xz plus here, if you multiply y, yz minus xy This is plus, okay, plus into z, xz minus yz. Now see here, xy, yz, all terms will eliminate. Plus xy minus xy plus xz minus xz plus xyz plus minus yz gets eliminated, we will get 0. See, x dx plus y dy plus z dz equal to 0. If you integrate this, you will get x square by 2 plus y square by 2 plus z square by 2 equal to c2. Shift 2 to RHS, we'll get x square plus y square plus z square equal to 2c2. So now this is nothing but v. So finally write in term of phi of u comma v equal to 0. That is the required solution. The sixth problem. So suppose if it is possible to pair at least suppose it is if possible to choose at least one pair, you can choose one pair. Okay. To find another case, there we can use property. The y square plus z square into p plus x into y cube is equal to z equal to 0. Okay. So now given, consider the given equation. So first we should check whether the given equation it is in standard form or not. See, this is not in standard form. First we have to make sure you have to write it is in standard form. So xyq is equal to minus xz, shift it into RHS, will get xz. So now this is in standard form. So write what is p, q and r. Now consider the auxiliary equation. That is dx by y square plus z square is equal to dy by xy is equal to dz by xz. Now, see, now we have to choose a pairs. We have to choose pairs, right? So first, check first and second term. Is it possible to make first and second term as a pair? See, is it possible? Dx, dy, we need only x and y. We have your z and also it is in the form of addition, so that we can't eliminate z. That's why we can't pair first and second term. Now observe second and third. Is it possible to make these two terms as a pair? See, dy, dz. So if we consider both are equal, we can easily eliminate xx. So dy by y, dz by z, we can easily integrate. That's why we can take second and third term as one pair. Then we need one more pair, right? But we can't pair third and first one also. That's why we can we can get only one pair. To find next case, there we should use property only. Okay, now so by using by using this pair, we can find out u. To find out v, we should go for property only. Okay, so now I am going to consider second and third term as a pair. See, now I am considering these two as a pair, so we can easily eliminate xx. We'll get dy by y, dz by z. If you integrate this, log y equal to log z is equal to c1. Log y by z equal to log c1, y by z is equal to c1. So this is nothing but u. Next we need to find out v, right? To find out v, we know we don't have one more pair. That's why I'm using property. To use that property, we have to observe auxiliary equation. See here we have to choose multipliers. How to choose multipliers? See, y square plus z square. Next we have xy and xz. Suppose if I multiply here x only, this becomes x square plus xz square. If I multiply here y, xy square plus xy square, here also plus xz square. If I multiply z here, then all are in positive, right? But we need one negative also. So xy square plus xz square, suppose this is also minus xy square minus xz square, we can eliminate all the things, right? So that's why I'm choosing that multipliers as x minus y minus z. Now use those multipliers here, you'll get x dx minus y dy minus z dz by denominator. See, we can cancel all the terms, in denominator we'll get 0. That's why we can write x dx minus y dy minus z dz equal to 0. If we integrate this, we'll get x square plus y square minus z square equal to 2c2. That is our v. So u is y by z, v is x square minus y square minus z square equal to 0. This is the required solution. This is the way of choosing multipliers. In seventh one also, see the seventh equation, it is already in standard form. It is already in standard form. We need not to write it in standard form. We just write its auxiliary equation. Dx by x into y square minus z square equal to dy by y into z square minus x square equal to dz by z into x square minus y square. Okay. Call that as equation 1. See. Now observe, is it possible to make a pair? Observe first and second. Is it possible to make these two terms as a pair? See, guys, first you should know one thing. Suppose denominator are in multiplication form, then only we can, sometimes we can make a pair. But if it is either addition or subtraction form, we can't make a pair. Okay, here see we have subtraction form, right? So we can't make this any term as a pair. Okay, we can't do here. That's why here to find both u and v, we should go for property. There we should use property only. So that's why we should choose two multipliers, right? So first multiplier I'm going to use is 1 by x, 1 by y, 1 by z. Okay. Suppose if I multiply 1 by x, 1 by y, 1 by z, see here. Here also 1 by x, right? Here also we should divide it by 1 by x. Then we can cancel x here. Y square minus z square. Here also we're going to do 1 by y, 1 by y. Y gets cancelled in denominator plus z square minus x square. Here also z get cancelled. X square minus y square. We can cancel all the denominator values. Numerator will be becomes 1 by x dx plus 1 by y dy plus 1 by z dz divided by 0. If we integrate this, log x plus log y plus log z equal to log c1, or log xyz equal to log c1, or xyz is equal to c1. Xyz is u. Now we should choose another multiplier. See, observe denominator. Suppose if I choose xyz as a multipliers, numerator x dx plus y dy plus z dz divided by denominator. If I choose x here, x square y square plus x z square. So x square z square plus y square z square minus y square x square. Already plus x minus x square y square will be eliminated. Like that we can do. So we'll get 1 by x. Okay, this is we already done, right? See, next to I choose x y z as multipliers. So you will get x square y square minus x square z square. See, observe this. We can eliminate all the terms. We'll get 0. So x dx plus y dy plus dz equal to 0. If we integrate it, we'll get x square plus y square plus z square equal to 2c2. This is nothing but v. So phi of xyz comma x square plus y square plus z square equal to 0. This is the required solution. Next, eighth equation, it is already in standard form. See here, we can make a pairs. This is the auxiliary equation, right? Observe first and second term. Is it possible to make the pairs? Yes, we can. Because by cancelling z, the variables are separated. We can easily integrate it. Now, by using second and third term, also we can make a pair. See, y we can cancel. Sorry, we can't choose second pair, right? Because see, first and second term becomes a first pair, and if we observe second and third term, see guys, we need only y and z term, right? Here also we have y, here also we have y. Suppose if I cancel y, z, we don't have z x derivative, right? So we can't make this as a pair. So now that's why we should go for the third and first term. Is it possible to make a pair, third and first term? See, we need only x and y derivatives, right? Here also we have x, here also we have x. If we cancel x, here we'll get z and here we'll get y. We can't separate, we can't evaluate y. because we don't have y derivative, right? That's why we can't get second pair. We can get only one pair. Okay. To find by using that we can find u. To find out v, we should go for property. That's it. See, by using first pair, that is dx by zz gets cancelled. Dx by x equal to dy by y. Log x plus log x is equal to log y plus log c1, or x by y equal to c1. X by y is u. Now we should find out v, right? To find out v, we should go for property. See here we have xz, this is yz, this is xy. So in this term y is missing, in this term x is missing, in this term z is missing, right? If we multiply x y, sorry, here we should multiply y. First is y, here we should multiply x, y, x, z. Okay, then if we add denominator, it becomes 3 times xyz, but we should get 0, right? To get 0, xyz plus xyz minus 2xyz, then it becomes 0, right? That's why I'm considering y comma x comma minus 2z as a multiplier. If you use that, you will get denominator is this. This is nothing but 0. Now observe the numerator. In numerator you will get cy dx plus x dy minus 2z dz, right? And observe here y dx plus x dy. We can't separate the variables, but we can write this as d of x comma y. D of x comma y means differentiation of x comma y gives you y dx plus x dy. See here, d of x comma y means differentiation. Here complete differentiation. X into or y into x differentiation is dx plus x, right, as it is, y differentiation is dy. This is complete differentiation. So d of x comma y can be written as x dy or y dx, x dy plus y dx. So we can write this as d of x comma y minus 2z dz. Z with respect to z, no? We can easily integrate. Now if we integrate this, see, already we know that if we integrate for the derivative and the integral will eliminate. We'll get xy minus 2z integration 2z square by 2 equal to c2. For simplification, we'll get xy minus z square equal to c2. That is v. U is x by y, v is x minus y, x into y, xy minus z square. This is the required solution. Similarly, we can solve ninth problem. There I used 1 by x square, 1 by y square, 1 by z square as a multipliers. See here, for first multipliers, I'll get this as 1 by x plus 1 by y plus 1 by z equal to minus c1 or c1. Next, for second multipliers, I used 1 by x, 1 by y, 1 by z. After that, I will get x, y, z equal to c2. Think 10th one is not necessary. Need not to practice that one. 11th to 12th are same as previous problems. Okay, next. Application of PDE. Application of PDE, we have derivation of one-dimensional wave equation and one-dimensional heat equation. And also we have solution for wave equation and heat equation. Okay, na? So in that first I will start derivation of one-dimensional wave equation. See, this is the graph or this is the figure for wave equation. In this figure, consider a flexible string tightly stretched between two fixed points O and A. Okay, here this is the string. So this is the string tightly stretched between O and A of length L. This string length is L. Let P and Q be the 2 points on the string. Okay, here I consider P and Q, 2 points, tangent. Okay, just draw a tangent. You will get 2 points P and Q. Also alpha beta be the angles at P and Q. See, alpha angle at P, beta angle at Q. Let us consider the force acting on a small element AB. Okay, force acting on a small element AB, not ABC, sorry here. Please make here one correction. Small element PQ. Okay, of length delta x. See, this is the length delta x, this length delta x, and T1 and T2 be the tensions. Okay, there is a tangent, no? This is T1 and T2 be the tensions. Those two represents tensions at the point P and Q. Since there are no motion in the horizontal direction, the horizontal components T1 and T2 must be cancel each other. That's why we can write T1 cos alpha equal to T2 cos beta equal to T. Okay. This is the important condition. Let M be the mass, where unit length of the string, the mass of the element PQ is M delta X. Okay, we already know that force acting Newton's second law of motion, that is F is equal to ma. F represents force, M represents mass, A represents acceleration, right? Here according to our graph, here M be the mass which represents M into delta x, and vertically and in the vertical transverse direction components of T1 and T2 are, in vertical transverse direction we can write T1 and T2 as minus T1 sin alpha plus T2 sin beta. Now I am going to apply. This becomes force. Okay. So by applying Newton's law of motion, F is equal to ma, second law of motion. Okay. So here, but according to our graph, F is equal to minus T1 sin alpha plus T2 sin beta. But we already know that m is m into delta x. A is acceleration with respect to time, right? That's why dou square u by dou t square we consider. You just substitute all the values here. F is minus T1 sin alpha plus T2 sin beta. Substitute here is equal to m delta x into A, that is dou square u by dou t square. Now you just simplify. See, first I written positive value first. T2 sin beta minus T1 sin alpha is equal to, write RHS as it is. Don't make any correction in RHS. Now divide throughout by capital T. Okay, if you divide capital T, T2 by T sin beta minus T1 by T sin alpha equal to, see, m by T delta x dou square u by dou t square. From equation 1. See, in this equation, please call this as equation 1. This is equation 1. See, T1 by T can be written as, or T by T1 is cos alpha. Okay. Or T1 by T, we need T1 by T, right? The T1 by T gives us 1 by cos alpha. T2 by T gives us 1 by cos beta. Okay, I will the same thing I will written here. So that in place of T2 by T, we can write 1 by cos beta, right? So sin beta by cos beta minus sin alpha by cos alpha is equal to, write RHS as it is. Sin by cos is tan, right? Tan beta minus tan alpha is equal to RHS. Now call this as equation 2. See, now tan alpha, tan beta represents the slope. Tan n represent ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Tan represents slope, right? Tan theta. Here in place of theta we have beta and alpha. That's it. At phi of x plus delta x and p of x. This is according to our graph. So that's why we can write tan beta. It is the angle at x plus delta x. That is dou u by dou x, x plus delta x. Tan alpha dou u by dou x at x. Now you just replace tan alpha, tan beta values in equation 2. We'll get this. This is the equation. Now take delta, limit as delta x tends to 0 on both the sides. Limit as delta x tends to 0 on both the sides and divide by delta x. Okay, na? If we divide delta x, RHS delta x gets cancelled. You will get this. M by T dou square u by dou t square. See, in LHS, in this equation, LHS is nothing but derivative of u with respect to x. That is dou u by dou x with respect to x. Okay, we can write this as dou u by dou x with respect to x, which is nothing but, see, dou u by dou x with respect to x. Like this we can write. This is nothing but dou square u by dou x square. So that LHS can be written as dou square u by dou x square. Okay, so now I will shift dou square u by dou t square to RHS and I will shift dou square u by dou x square to LHS. So then dou square u by dou t square is equal to, just cross multiply t by m, which is equal to dou square u by dou x square. So this, I'm going to consider t by m as c square. So dou square u by dou t square equal to c square dou square u by dou x square, or we can write utt is equal to c square uxx. This is the required wave equation in one dimension. Okay, now we are going to solve, so find the solution of one dimensional wave equation, that is utt equal to c square uxx, by the method of separation of variables. So consider the equation, wave equation. First we should consider wave equation. Okay, so for this wave equation the solution is u is equal to xt. This is the fixed solution. Okay, we should consider u is equal to x into t, where x is nothing but function of x, small x, capital T is nothing but function of small t. Be the solution of PDE. Okay, now hence now in the wave equation replace u by xt. In both the sides LHS and RHS replace u by xt, capital XT. Now observe here. Okay, now observe here, dou square xt by dou t square is equal to c square into dou square x into t by dou x square. Here derivative with respect to t we have, here derivative with respect to x we have. In partial derivatives with respect to t, if you are differentiating with respect to t, means we can treat another variable as constant. If you are differentiating with respect to x, we can treat another variable as constant. No, so that's why here t, capital T is nothing but function of small t only. That's why here we can treat x as constant. Here also we can treat t as constant because we are differentiating with respect to x. No, capital X is nothing but function of small x. So that's why we can treat t as constant. Then this equation becomes what? X into, see LHS I am writing, dou square t, we can take x outside, no? Dou square t by dou t square. Now observe here, t is a t with respect to t only. Okay, now capital T is a function of single independent variable, that is small t. Okay, we have single independent variable. That's why we can rewrite in term of ordinary differential equation now. See, here I took x outside, dou square t by dou t square is equal to c square t dou square x by dou x square. So now divide throughout, because here we have x, so here we have t. This is derivative with respect to x, this is with respect to t. Now to separate the variables, we should divide throughout by c square xt. This is not into c square xt. Then we'll get 1 by c square t, c dou square t by dou t square is equal to 1 by x dou square x by dou x square. 1 by c square t, c dou square t by dou t square can be written as d square t by dt square, because t is a function of single independent variable. That's why I written PDE in term of ODE. Same thing we can write in RHS also. Now I am going to equate both the equations to k. We can do this by ratio property. We can write this is both equations is equal to k. Now we can equate 1 by x d square x by dx square is equal to k, 1 by c square t d square t by dat square is equal to k. See, already we know that solution for this is nothing but, see, now you just cross multiply this, d square x by dx square minus kx is equal to 0. Here d square t by dt square minus c square kt is equal to 0. Now it is a homogeneous differential equation. We already know homogeneous equation for solution is complementary function, right? So this is homogeneous ODE, right? That's why you should write in term of capital D, that is d square minus k into x equal to 0. Here d square minus c square k into t equal to 0. Call this as equation 1. Okay, now we should find solution for these two equations. Okay, see here, by using fixed values we are going to find the solution for this wave equation. Okay, So here we are going to use three cases. One case is when k is equal to 0. Here we have k, right? If k is equal to 0, then what is the solution of this ODE? And second condition, if k is equal to positive value. Okay, if k is positive, here next we are going to take that positive value as p square. If k is equal to p square, then what is the solution? Similarly, we are going to verify for negative values. If if k value is negative, that is also we are considering k is equal to minus p square. Then what is the solution? Okay, like that we are going to find the three solutions. So first case 1. If k is equal to 0, then the equations become, see, d square into x equal to 0. Here d square into t equal to 0. Then what is the auxiliary equation? M square equal to 0. Here also m square equal to 0. For both m square equal to 0, m square equal to 0. That's why solution y means complementary function. This is capital X. X is equal to c1 plus c2x e power 0x. Both are 0, 0, right? Here also t is equal to, next we should use c3, c4. c3, c4, t. Here you should consider variable as t into e power 0t. That is c3 plus c4t. Here c1 plus c2x. So now we have both x and t, right? Therefore the solution of PD is u is equal to xt. U is equal to xt. X into this is t. That's it. This is the way of finding the solution. Similarly, next, if k be the positive, that is k is equal to plus p square, then what is the solution? See, d square minus p square, k is p square. Okay, into x is equal to 0. Here d square minus c square, k, right? Here p square into t equal to 0. Then auxiliary equation is c, m square minus p square equal to 0. Here m square minus c square p square equal to 0. See, here m equal to plus or minus p. That's why c1 e power px plus c2 e power minus px. Plus p minus p, no, that's why. Here also plus cp minus cp. C3 e power cpt plus c4 e power minus cpt. We have both x and y. Those therefore, sorry, x and t. Therefore, u is equal to x into t. So this is x, this is t. Here I consider, because already we written c1, c2, c3, c4, right, in previous solution. It's this one. For k is equal to 0, we written c1, c2, c3, c4. That's why in k is equal to p square, I written c1 dash, c2 dash, c3 dash, c4 dash. That's it. All are constants. Now consider, find the same thing when k is equal to negative. That is k equal to minus p square. See, d square plus or minus, plus into minus, sorry, minus into minus becomes plus, d square minus into minus becomes plus p square into x equal to 0. Its auxiliary equation is m square plus p square equal to 0. The m square is equal to minus p square. Then roots are m equal to plus or minus ip. Okay. Now similarly for second one, m square plus c square p square equal to 0. M equal to plus or minus icp. Complex roots for both. Therefore x is c1 cos px plus c2 sin px. And t, c3 cos cpt plus c4 sin cpt. So finally you can write u is equal to xt. Here I consider c1, c2, c3, c4 as c1 double dash, c2 double dash, c3 double dash, c4 double dash. You just multiply and write it. This is the way of finding solution of wave equation. Solution of one-dimensional wave equation by the method of separation of variables. Okay. Similarly, next, derivation of one-dimension heat equation. Here also we have one derivation. See, consider a homogeneous bar of constant cross-sectional area A. This is the bar, homogeneous bar. Okay. S be the specific heat, rho be the density, K be the thermal conductivity. These are all standard values, standard notations. Okay. Conductivity of the material. Let the sides be insulated so that the stream of the lines of heat flow are parallel and perpendicular to the area A. Let one end of the bar taken as origin, so this is origin, and heat flows be the positive x-axis. See, heat flows like this. See the direction, heat flows in the direction. Let u is equal to u of x comma t, means u is a function of x and t. be the temperature of the slab at the distance x from the origin. Consider element of the bar between planes PQRS and P dash Q dash R dash S dash. See here, this is PQRS. This is one slab. P dash Q dash R dash S dash is another slab. At a distance x and x plus delta x from the end O. Let delta U be the change in temperature in a slab of thickness delta x of the bar. See here, the important steps. The mass of the element, this is the standard value A rho delta x. The quantity of the heat stored in this slab element A rho small s delta x delta U. Hence rate of increase of heat in this slab element is C. Rate of increase of heat, that is A rho s delta x into dou U by dou T. Call this as equation 1. See, next to, if Ri is the rate of inflow of the heat and Rho is the rate of outflow of the heat, then Ri and Rho are represented like this. Minus Ka into dou U by dou x at x, Rho andre minus Ka into dou U by dou x at x plus delta x, where the negative sign is due to empirical law. Okay, because of empirical law we consider negative sign. There are some laws, okay, that is heat flows from higher temperature to lower temperature, we consider negative signs. That's it. That is according to empirical law. So hence from 1 and 2 we can write R is equal to Ri minus Ro. We have both Ri and Ro, right, and also we have R. This is R. You just write what is R and Ri Ro. See, Ri Ro both are negative, right? Ro is this. Minus into minus becomes plus. That's why first I written Ro minus Ri. Okay, na? And you just keep dou U by dou T in LHS and shift remaining terms to RHS. I will get this equation. And see, now I am going to do, see here we have delta 1 by delta x, right? So then K by rho s into divide delta x in these two terms. Call that as equation 3. Now take limit as delta x tends to 0 in RHS of 3 only. Okay, only in RHS, in the equation 3, only in RHS you take delta x tends to 0. We'll get like this. So this equation. Now, this equation is nothing but derivative of dou U by dou x with respect to x. Okay, this is according to our standard differentiation definition. Okay, but by that standard differentiation definition we can write this as dou U by dou x of dou U by dou x. See, like that here we can write dou by dou x of dou U by dou x and write K by rho into s as it is. Okay, now. So now see here, I am going to consider K by rho s as constant, that is c square. We'll get dou U by dou T is equal to c square dou square U by dou x square. Or you can write ut is equal to c square uxx. This is the required one-dimensional heat equation. Next we have solution of one-dimensional heat equation. Solution by using separation of variables method. Same, this finding solution of one-dimensional heat equation is same as finding solution of one-dimensional wave equation. Both are same. Same concept I am going to apply here. But the equation is different. That's it. There we have wave equation, we have UTT. Here we have UT only. That's it. Okay, now. So first consider the heat equation. So now U is equal to xt. This is the standard solution. Okay, in PDE. So x is equal to function of x, t is function of small t. Now do the same procedure here. In heat equation, in place of U, replace it by x into t in both LHS and RHS and rewrite in term of ODE and separate the variables. After that we will get C. 1 by c square t dt by dt is equal to k and 1 by x d square x by dx square is equal to k. Now shift the terms. dt by t minus c square kt equal to 0 and dx square by dx square minus kx is equal to 0. Now we have in standard ODE form. So now consider, rewrite d by derivative in term of capital D. dt by t can be written as d minus c square k into t equal to 0. And second one, d square minus k into x equal to 0. Okay. Now find the solutions by using three cases. One is when k equal to 0, second one is when k is positive, third one is when k is negative. If k is equal to 0, see, if k is equal to 0, see this equation. This term becomes a 0. We'll get means m is equal to 0. Auxiliary equation m equal to 0. And now here if k is 0, we'll get only m square equal to 0. So first one we have only one root, m is 0. For second equation we have two roots, 0 comma 0. That's why t is equal to c1 e power 0 t. E power anything power 0 is 1, that is c1. X is equal to c1 plus c2 into e power 0x, that is x is equal to c2 plus c3. Wait. Sorry. Here make one correction. X is equal to, this is c2 plus c3 because already I used c1 here, no? That's why here consider c2 and c3. Here I written correctly. Okay. That's why the final solution is u is equal to xt c1 into c2 plus c3x. We can simplify this. If we simplify this, see, we'll get, see here, this is equal to, we can write this as c1 c2, just multiply c1 inside the bracket, that's it. c1 c2 plus c1 c3x, right? The same thing here I mentioned c1 c2 as a. See here a, c1 c3 as b. That's why the solution is u is equal to a plus bx. This is when k is equal to 0. Similarly, we are going to find when k is positive. If k is positive, that is k is equal to plus p square. Consider k is equal to plus p square. Then auxiliary equation for one is c, m minus c square p square is equal to 0. So m is c square p square, single root. In second one, m square minus p square equal to 0, that is m is equal to plus or minus p, two roots. So t is c1 dash. Here, there we used c1, right? So that's why in next case use c1 dash, c2 dash, c3 dash, like that. E power c square p square t. And here x is equal to, for plus p, c2 dash e power px plus c3 dash e power minus px. Now you just combine, you'll get u. Here also I written, see here e power c square p square t is common into, multiply c1 dash inside the bracket. c1 dash c2 dash becomes a dash. Just consider that as a dash. Because there I used a, b, right? That's why here I am considering a dash, b dash. And c1 dash c3 dash becomes b dash. That's it. That is the solution. Now if k is negative, k is equal to minus p square. Then the auxiliary equations are m plus c square p square equal to 0. That is m equal to minus c square p square, single root. Now for second equation, m square p square equal to 0. That is m equal to plus or minus ip, imaginary root. For those two you should write the complementary function. That is t is equal to c1 double dash. There we use c1 dash. So here you use c1 double dash. E power minus c square p square t. Here ip, right? That is c2 double dash cos px plus c3 double dash sin px. You just combine, you will get u. Multiply those two. xt. Here I multiply tx. Both are same. So u is equal to xt is equal to, here also same, e power minus c square p square t is common. c1 double dash c2 double dash is a double dash cos px plus c1 double dash c3 double dash as p double dash sin px. This is the required solution. The finding solution for both wave equation and heat equation is same. Okay, we applied the same concept in both the equations. Okay, these are all about partial differential equations. Thank you.